the amazing Sheree Rubenstein. Rubenstein or Steen?
Both. Whatever you want.
Welcome to Future Proof.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Now, not only are you a wonderful friend, but you're equally one of the most inspiring people I know, because you have founded One Roof, which is the biggest female-led co-working space in Australia, which is all about empowering and elevating female entrepreneurs for the future.
Yep. Yes, we are based in South Bank. We have 85 women-led businesses working in the space, ranging from a one-person graphic designer to a 25-person global health tech company. A great event space. Penny runs a lot of amazing events in the space, and we are all about creating the environment and the circumstances and the programs that create the greatest chances for women-led businesses, for women to succeed in business.
So let's take that and let's focus this session on women. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what has got you excited in the context of the future of work in relation to women?
Yeah. So everything. So women are starting businesses at twice the rate of men. And we're seeing, I hear it and see it all the time, and I get calls all the time from women, and you would as well, I'm sure, Penny, wanting to leave their corporate jobs, wanting to start side hustles, not getting the promotions, which ends up being a great opportunity for them to start a business, going on maternity leave, not wanting to come back. And I think these are all actually, platforms and opportunities for incredible growth and incredible change. Women are, and it's exciting, and women are coming into One Roof with great ideas. They are passionate. They are driven first and foremost by impact and wanting to solve a real problem in the world. And a lot of the time it's a problem that relates to them or their children or somebody close to them. Yeah. They come from a place of real purpose. The women that I meet are go-getting. They care about connection. They care about people. They want to make a real impact and a real difference in this world. And so when I'm, hanging out at One Roof and the community that I've created around me, I'm excited every single day, because I am seriously surrounded by people who give a shit and who challenge themselves and who are doing everything that they can to make a difference and do purposeful work that they love.
Oh, there's so many things we could talk about. So
we could talk for hours.
Oh,
this is what happens with
we
us.
We generally do. We
spoke for about 2 hours before actually recording this.
So let's talk about gender equality in business, because it's something we're both very passionate about, and it's filled hours of our time with wine. So I have a theory. And my theory is that these shapeshifters that you talk about, so I call them shapeshifters, these women that basically say, I have an idea and I want to realise that idea by creating a business, and I come from a professional background, and I find that in my life now I'm not getting the flexibility that I actually want in my career. So I'm going to go out and chase that crazy idea. And I'm going to shapeshift. Like, I'm going to take the amazing skills I've got from the professional world and use that to have some sort of impact in the world. I believe that these women will be the ones that will create the businesses that will enable us to realise gender equality in the workplace. And I think that women in this position will be able to do it quicker than the 200 years that they're saying it's going to take us if we move at the pace that we're currently moving at. That's my theory. I'm interested in what you have to say about that, and I'm equally interested in what you have to say about the fact that it's going to take 200 years for us to realise gender equality in the workplace, when you and I both know there is so much conversation about this. It's insane.
Yeah. I think that I'm actually trying to remember the first part of what you said.
I reckon it's women like you and me that will create gender equality by the design of the businesses that we are creating.
Yeah, and I think, because they have experienced the issues firsthand, because they take the risks, because they, if you're smart and you surround yourself with the right people and you continue to test an idea and you continue to learn and you continue to be mentored by, the right kind of people around you, you will build a successful, you can and will build a successful business. I think, what I've created with One Roof is a great example of I just went out and I did it. I came from corporate background, corporate law, felt very frustrated by the hierarchy, by the gender inequalities in the workplace, seeing women working part-time or being penalised because they've gone on maternity leave and never being able to become partner, not enough women in partnership. And I was frustrated and I couldn't find any women who would support me. I couldn't find mentors. I couldn't, so I went and created it myself. And now we have this incredible community. We're supporting other women to do that. And I think that's so much a part of this. Like, I've created something that is all about, it's fulfilling my needs and my passions and my purpose, but it is all about helping other women fulfill their needs and their passions and their purpose. And I just strongly believe that the more we support women and help them to succeed, and the more money that women make, the more that they will give back to other women-led businesses, to other causes. And this is how we will create the change and how gender equality will be achieved. I hope more than 200 years from now. I think
I'd like to see it, in our lifetime.
We are working damn hard to make that happen, and surrounding ourselves with people who want to make that happen. The challenge is that it's often, you and I can sit here and talk about it, we agree, we get it, but at the end of the day, we've got to get to the people who are influential, who, make the decisions, who potentially don't see the value in diversity and inclusion, and we've got to convince them of the reason why we need to create that change. And there's so many elements to what is holding back gender equality. Systemic, unconscious bias, cultural, financial, attitudes, social. There's so much there. There's so much, and it goes so deep. How do we get there? I think, we've got to, like you and I, we take it one step at a time, but we think really big. We want to make that, we want to create that equality. We won't stop until we feel that we've done everything that we can to create it. And we're taking that action. And I think that the more women who just want to focus on being successful, just work out, if you succeed, then you're showing other women. If you show up and you lead by example, then you're giving other women, paving the way for other women.
Well, it's showing what's possible, isn't it? And I think you talked about a number of factors that are contributing to why things are the way that they are. And I always look at, what's within my control that I can, actually positively influence the outcome of. And that's why, like you, I've gone into the business that I'm in, because I think one of the biggest barriers that's within the control of women is confidence and self-belief. And it just blows me away how many amazing women, we've both suffered from it, we know this, yeah? How many amazing women I meet that don't value the skills they've got or realise their potential. And it's like, imagine if we could just turn that potential up 5%. It would be amazing, just through confidence building and risk-taking and building resilience.
Absolutely.
So the other thing that you and I spend a lot of time talking about is investment in women-led businesses. And we've spoken many times about creating our own fund to do this.
We will.
We will.
Are you busy enough yet?
No, I don't do busy. We do positively occupied. No. So let's talk a little bit about this, because less than 9% of VC funds in Australia are invested in women-led businesses, and I think it's only 4% in the US. Like, it's nuts. And we know a lot of women that would love to get investment and have gone down this path and have gone through some very challenging times in this space. Yep. How do we start to shift the paradigm and actually, one, get women to get comfortable seeking investment, but change the dynamics of what the dynamics of what investment partners look like. Because I think the ones that we're familiar with, for a lot of women, they're not appealing. Like they would rather forgo the money than go down a path that doesn't feel like it's a right fit.
Yeah.
Because women are about care and the human piece, and it's probably one of the most inhuman processes that you can come across in the context of trying to scale a business.
Yeah. There's so many things I could say to this. So I think, one of the things that we care about at One Roof and why we exist and what we do is creating this environment to give women tools and confidence and, help them back themselves. So firstly, if we're coming from a place of, as a founder or an entrepreneur, I've got a great business, I've got a great idea, I back myself, that changes the dynamic of anything. You're going out asking people for money, but it's a dating game, and if you back yourself, it's not about you desperately asking for money. It's about you going out and finding the right people who you want to, build that relationship with, and it should be a privilege for them to invest in you. And so there is a mindset around that we need to really get behind women and founders and give them that confidence and help them to understand, firstly, do you need funding? Yep. And if you do need funding, what does it look like, and why, giving them the tools and the resources to understand how to build that relationship, to understand the importance of finding the right investors, of not being desperate, the game and the strategy that's around that is all really important. I said to a woman once, it's like a dating game. And she'd never thought about it like that, because to her it was, I just need money. And so she's desperately out there asking all these investors and VCs for money. But that's not attractive. That's not what people want to invest in. They want to invest in somebody who doesn't really need you necessarily, or, they want to feel a sense of FOMO. Oh my God, everybody's talking about this business. Everybody wants to invest in it. So I better get involved. So there's strategy. There's so much work and preparation involved in that as well. And I often talk to founders about, being prepared. I am over the number of people who say to me, wow, Sheree, you got up there and gave a presentation and it looked like you just did it off the cuff. I don't do anything off the cuff. No. Everything is prepared and planned. That is so important. So that's just the side of the founder side. I think on the investor side, there's also a lot of education that needs to go into understanding unconscious bias and understanding. I'll never forget when an investor said to me, Sheree, it's really hard when a guy walks in the room and he's really confident and he sells this vision and it's epic, and then he walks out the room and a woman walks in and she just tells you all the honest challenges that she's facing and the struggles and so on. And it's hard. It's hard to not be impressed by the confidence and the arrogance that can be a more typical trait of a male. The other thing is we need to encourage women into investing, and women who may already have the money who can invest. We need to educate and encourage them around the importance of getting into this space, because the more women that we see on the other side of the table, the more comfortable we feel, the more chances, if we're building a business that's focused on solving a problem that exists for women, but there are only men sitting on the other side of us, it's very hard. It's very hard to sell that vision to them. So yeah, there's a lot of things in there.
There is. And it's like you said earlier, I totally agree with the fact that women don't go into business to become the next Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, it's not about being the next tech billionaire. Women go into business to solve human and social problems often, and it's often motivated by personal experience. And I think that there's this beautiful opportunity where if we give women the right resources and support and skills, that we can actually, put care back into a world of technology and hopefully reposition this whole, I think, mindset that comes from that investment space where it's all about scale. And and the tech element, it's like, why are we not investing in businesses that are actually focusing on the human aspect? Like, isn't that a point of difference? And does a business have to be a great investment if it doesn't make billions of dollars? What if it's a really sustainable business that only makes $10 million a year?
And also has an incredible impact in what it's doing with a social return.
Correct. So it's almost like we need to, I think, especially for women to feel good about the process, but two, to have the right partners, like you said. It's almost like there's a whole education piece from an investment perspective on helping people to look at what they're really investing in, not just from a financial perspective, but from an impact perspective, and align that. There's a whole values piece around that.
Absolutely.
So it's redefining what success looks like in the context of investment. The other thing that you picked up on, which I think is fascinating, comes back to getting women to invest in women-led businesses and an education piece around that. In the work that I do, and I'm guaranteeing you see this all the time, financial literacy in women is an absolute deficit in our society. I cannot believe that we still do not teach this at school. And we know that money, whilst it doesn't make one happy, it certainly buys a lot of choice, and potential to explore innovative ideas. What are your perspectives on financial literacy for women? Because I think it starts much younger than the women we're dealing with to actually shift this space and allow women even the possibility of having the financial stability to be able to invest.
Absolutely. I think just on the point of from a young age, I think we still unconsciously teach girls to be perfect, to be pretty, to focus on how we look and dress and present ourselves. And then we teach boys to be brave and to be entrepreneurial and to be technologically savvy. And there's still this gap, and that has over time meant that, a lot of women I meet, a lot of these conversations come up all the time. It's a stereotype and it's a generalization, and it's true that women, there is a lack of financial literacy as a generalization, and we need to bridge that gap. We need to teach women, we need to be having these conversations, and we need women to feel comfortable and confident and not guilty to say, I actually want to make money. Like, of course you do. You need to. That's important. And I'm building this business, and we know you're building the business, or you're the work that you're doing. You're passionate about it. You love it. You want to create change, but you also need to want to make money from it.
Well, you can't sustain. And I always say to people, there's nothing wrong with making money if it provides the platform for you to create the change that you want. The more money you make, the more impact you can have.
Absolutely. And I don't know if it's a sense of guilt or a feeling of, as a female, I'm meant to care more about the world and my family and my children and purpose-driven things, and there's a guilt element towards the money side, but it's absolutely there. And in a lot of the businesses that I see at One Roof, I don't doubt the passion. The passion is what drives them. And that's important in building a business. If you're in it just to make money, good luck to you. I don't know, the fulfillment. If you're in a career just to make money, I think, I'd challenge, your
it's got a limited lifespan, hasn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. And one day you go, well, am I fulfilled? Where's the meaning? Surely there is more to money. You're never going to have enough money. But so the purpose is there, but I think we need to be having a lot more conversations about the financial side and the importance of, understanding your personal finances, your business finances. You need to know your cash flow, your P&L inside out. Yeah. It is so empowering and so enabling, and you should be looking at it every day. And if you're not good at it, get people around you. Really, it's the most important thing.
So the last thing I want to talk about, because we've touched on this throughout the whole conversation, is this concept of women are attracted to solving human problems. Okay, and there is a hell of a lot of work and well-intentioned work out there at the moment around encouraging more women into STEM, and into technology. And I love the intent, but I wonder the level of traction, because I don't know that those terms and the way that's positioned actually resonates with a lot of women, especially the women that we're seeing and that we spend a lot of time with in the startup world. And so I'm interested in your perspective, because we've just had this whole conversation about potentially doing something around the context of, rather than profiling women in STEM, what if we profile women in human and talk about the fact that technology and STEM type subjects are enablers to you solving the problems of the world that you care about or creating social change.
Yep.
Do you have a perspective on that?
Yeah, so I would say often, again, why I set up One Roof, we try to fit women into what has traditionally been a male paradigm in everything, in office environments, in language, in conversation, in how we do business. And the reality is, often, again, as generalizations, we can do things differently and we see the world differently, and we might have a different language and way of doing things. So yes, I think we're not moving fast enough. We don't have enough women and girls in STEM and tech and entrepreneurship. So we do need to shift the way that we're doing things and the conversation and how we do it. And absolutely, as you say, Penny, and we were talking about this before, that to change the conversation, to change the language around it, if we know that women and girls are focused on real world problems, on impact, on social causes, on connection, on people, then shift the conversation to focus on that, knowing that technology is absolutely an enabler.
Correct.
But, we want technology to enable us to do great things and to change the world.
But it's not why we go into business.
That's exactly right.
And it's rare, like you say, most of the female founders I know, it's not why they go into business.
Yeah.
They go into business to solve a problem.
Yeah.
They don't think, I want a tech career or I want a science career. It's like, how do I solve this problem? So I just think that, like you say, there's a language, there's a repositioning. And I believe that repositioning could have far greater penetration if you could show role models that have actually stood up there and had like women in human businesses, and then show how they've used technology to realise their passion or their dream.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you start with the purpose, the why, the intention. If you're thinking about starting a business or you have some kind of idea, think about the why, the problem, the customers, and the technology and the how. All of that will come once you work out what is the problem that you're trying to solve. Like that should be that's the starting point.
And it's so interesting because you and I have been texting all week with this idea around, a summit or a conference called Women in Human. And the irony the other night when I get online for the very first time to register a domain name and they're never bloody available, as you and I know.
Yeah.
Women in Human is available, so watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space.
Watch this space, it's coming. The last thing I want to say is, damn, I love you. And I love hanging out with you. So thank you so much for doing it on camera for once.
Oh, pleasure. I love it.